Okay, here's group 7, question 14. Why did the older men think Orwell was right to shoot the elephant, while the younger men think that it was wrong and a waste? Right? This seems counterproductive, right? We always like to think of young people as being more progressive, and older people as being more conservative, and perhaps less apt to be flexible about questions of human rights. Well, Orwell asks us to rethink that, okay? And here is the key. This is the thing you have to realize that Orwell is trying to suggest. There are two kinds of imperialists, two kinds of colonial projects. There's Colonial Project 1.0, and then there's Colonial Project 2.0. Old men 1.0. Um, the young men 2.0. Old school, new school. All right? So let's talk old school for a second. Old school were like Cecil Rhodes. Old school were like Kipling. These are guys who were motivated at some level by racism. They actually just thought that the Anglo-Saxon race was superior. And they felt like they had the light, and they wanted to share the light with the world, with these poor natives. It's very condescending. It's very racist, right? But they see their role as being paternalistic, caring for these people. So the older men are enacting what they think is their responsibility. Their responsibility is to take care of these poor native people who are not Anglo-Saxon. So they, of course, think it's right for Orwell to shoot the elephant because they feel like that the narrative they're engaged in is one of their moral superiority, and the way the story needs to go is, and look at how this subdivisional police officer, this authority from the empire, stepped in to save these poor natives. Okay, now the young men, they are imperialism colonial project 2.0. They are not there for moral purposes. They're not moral missionaries. They're not interested in condescension. They're not racist that way. They are more interested in economics. They're more interested in productivity, in output, the strength of the pound sterling, all of that sort of stuff. And what they see is a loss of productivity. They see a senseless destruction of a machine that could have been useful. And if this becomes the guiding policy of subdivisional police officers everywhere, how many elephants are going to be taken out of business? How many elephants are going to be offline just because a few people get killed? I mean, think about it. A few poor people get killed, that's fewer poor people. That means your percentage of poor people has gone down. Well done you, you know. Remember always, when it comes to data, what has been famously said, there are lies, there are damn lies, and then there are statistics, right? So you can take something as meaningful and as useful as data, and you can turn it to your own evil ends. And Orwell knows this. Productivity's up, poverty's down, we have fewer poor people, we have more productivity, the empire is going great guns, support the empire. So Orwell sees the empire as being evil for two reasons. One, 1.0, let's call it, he sees it as fundamentally wrong morally in its paternalism and in its mission to bring everyone into Anglo-Saxon heel. And then two, he thinks it's wrong to build an international economic system based on the poverty of native peoples, and he objects to this kind of sort of data-driven, non-contextualized thinking. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. Cheers.